All right, today we have a step-by-step guide to building your floater. So no matter if your floater is terrible or if your floater is pretty good, we are going to give you guys the exact next steps, next drills to do exactly how to do them to continue to build your floater. So step number one, which is kind of contrary to what most people would do, is we're actually going to do live drills, or we can be studying film to see which aspect of our floater we actually need to work on. Most people would just start to break it down. We're gonna do stuff on air. We're gonna work on the same stuff that they can already do, which isn't gonna really get them that much better. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 drills that you guys can do with a partner, with a buddy, that you guys can then assess your floater, see what you need to improve on, and then we can go from there. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys the 3 drills that you guys can be doing. Now with all of these, I want you guys to film them and record them, so then you guys can look at it, and we're gonna be assessing 4 different things: your technique, your touch, your footwork, and then your ability to make reads to make sure you're taking a floater at the right time when you really should be. So first one, we're gonna go here. Say offense is on the block. Henry, I'll have you on offense. I'll have you on defense. So you guys are both gonna start on the block. You're gonna go and touch the 3-point line. You're gonna go and touch the opposite block. You can get into a floater or you can get into a layup. It's completely up to you. So your touch, you're gonna be meeting. You can either go floater or you can take it to the rim depending on how he reads it. So next drill, again, you guys are filming, set up a tripod, have somebody else film, it's completely up to you. Henry, you're gonna start at the 3-point line, you're gonna start right behind him. Okay, so you're gonna start just hand here, you're off the dribble, you're gonna initiate contact backwards. So you have to make contact here, and then you're downhill, you're trying to get around him somehow, and it has to be a floater, you're just trying to do your best contest play defense. So third drill you guys are gonna be doing, offense is gonna start at the elbow here, defense is gonna start opposite elbow. You gotta go around the semicircle, you're gonna go touch the opposite elbow, and then you're trying to get back into the play. So again, here you can go layup or floater. You're just reading the space. Okay, do I have a layup? Do I have a floater? Am I gonna change direction, go left? Or you're just gonna take it, you're gonna go off 1 foot, 2 foot, all that kind of stuff. So after you go through all 3 of those drills, you guys can then go and assess your footage. Do you need to improve on your technique? Do you need to improve on your touch? Is it your footwork? Is it your reads where you're just not making the right decision at the right time? No matter what it is, let's say Henry has terrible technique. We're gonna go through and show you guys how to improve your technique. So technique-wise, we always wanna make sure that we have a flat hand. We don't want the ball to be spinning a ton. We don't wanna be flicking our wrist. That's more so a runner or jump shot. So we wanna make sure that we're able to get that technique of having a flat hand. Now, if you don't do that, we want to kind of separate it away from those drills, doing the live stuff for a little bit to start to break down and build our technique. So the biggest thing is we can start very, very simple. All right, we're gonna go here. Maybe we're just working at shooting at the backboard. The biggest thing that we wanna be focusing on is stabilizing and then destabilizing. So as soon as I can do this at the backboard, perfect. All right, now I wanna challenge it even more. Now I'm gonna go towards the rim, right? Making sure I'm getting that technique while I'm still trying to make it. Once I get that, all right, now let's try to break it into a little bit more game-like. All right, I can do that. Now let's again try to destabilize it again. Once I can do this perfectly without defense, now it's immediately time to go and do it with defense. I think one of the big problems is people just try to keep repping out their floater once they have the technique on no defense. They get into a game, they're very uncomfortable, they don't know how to make decisions because all they do is do it on air. So again, the biggest thing is to stabilize that technique and then immediately destabilize it by trying to challenge yourself by, again, changing the distance. Maybe you're going higher floaters, maybe you're shooting from further away, where I would just continue to move back until you can almost do a floater from the 3-point line with good technique. All right, so the next aspect of your floater is your touch. Once you have the technique down, it really comes down to your ability to have proper touch, know how much force to put on the ball, depending on where you're going, where you're traveling on the court. One of my favorite ways that we can do this is work on any type of move that you want, at least by yourself. Get downhill, try to shoot it above the backboard, so you don't have to necessarily go over the backboard. Above the height of the backboard, you wanna try to make sure you're swishing everything. The other thing is you wanna make sure you're going as game speed as realistic. Obviously, if you're just going half speed, it might not be as challenging as realistic. So we want to make it as realistic as possible while still challenge ourselves So again, going different angles, get it above the backboard, and then try to swoosh it. So the swoosh is just adding extra challenge. If that's too difficult, go no swoosh. Once that's too easy, then you can go swoosh from there. So the next one we can use by ourselves to really challenge our touch is attacking the rim, preferably going away from the rim when we're not jumping towards the rim. And we want to work on floaters where we're hitting outside the box. So instead of going where it's hitting the top corner, we want to hit outside that box. We're going high, maybe we're going corner, maybe we're going a little bit lower. So again, we're just really challenging that touch. You can go from anywhere. You can go middle, try to put it up higher. I know that hit inside, but again, you guys get the point. So the next aspect of our floater is our footwork. There's 4 main ways that you guys can get your floater off. That can be left foot, that would be right foot, that's left, right, and that's right, left. So me, I'm a righty. Predominantly 90% of my floaters are gonna be with my right hand in my game. So I wanna work on that right, left fading away. I wanna work on that left, right in every single possible way. So I can go left, right, fade. I could go left, right, fade this way. So I wanna make sure I'm working on all of those. I wanna make sure I'm going right, left here. I wanna make sure I'm going left foot. I wanna make sure I'm going right foot in every possible way. So ideally we want to tie this into the actual game. When are we going to use these? But to start, make sure you can do all of them. There's sometimes where I'm watching or I'm working on a certain player, maybe it's in a live drill and I see that they don't have a certain footwork. I want to then take it away from the game, practice it on air. As soon as they get it, I then want to bring it back. So there's definitely plenty of ways that we can then work on this with a live defender, which I will show you. So Henry, let's say you start right here. This one, you have to go off 2 feet. You're gonna start, say NBA line. As soon as you go, you have to get a floater off. You're going dribble with the left. You gotta go off 2 feet. So you'll be working either right, left. Left, right's gonna be a little bit awkward. So I would suggest going on that right, left. As soon as he moves, you're chasing it down, trying to block him. So this is a great way that we can isolate certain footworks where we're trying to train the footwork of the floater, but also tying it in with a real defender, making it more challenging, and also training our technique, which we already worked on, as well as our touch. So now the next footwork's gonna be, you gotta go off 2. I would suggest the right, left. You can do whatever you want. You can go left, right if you want, it's up to you. Now you're gonna go left, you're behind him here, you gotta go off left foot, right hand. So for some players, this may be too difficult, whereas then, okay, let's go back, let's take away the defense, let's work on air. Most people can do this, so that I would suggest this is a much better way to train your footwork on your floaters if your players have trouble with it, or if you have trouble with it, then just absolutely going on air and repping out a million different times. You have your technique, your touch is pretty solid, and then your footwork, you at least have the necessary footwork, you have the ability to do it. Now we want to tie it into live play as soon as we possibly can. I think a lot of people think, okay, technique needs to be absolutely mastered, your touch needs to be fantastic, your footwork needs to be perfect before you go and do it into live play. I would argue that that's not the case. It doesn't need to be perfect. You need to have it to a certain degree, and then we want to tie it into live play. And then you guys can go back and forth. It's not all or nothing. It's a constant moving back and forth. So now once you have all that, we want to make sure that you guys can make the right reads and actually use your floater at the right times. So first drill we can do, this is kind of more so reading space. You're going to start off the dribble. You're going to start behind him. You're going to go around him whenever you want. Okay, so you're just kind of looking forward. So Henry, let's say you're behind me. You can go around whenever you want. Okay, so now I'm reading, okay, now I got to go left. Now I'm reading space. Is he close to me? Maybe I need to bump. If I have the space, maybe I take it. Maybe I'm fading left. Maybe I'm fading right. Maybe he cuts me off. I change direction. Now I got to go right hand floater, right? So we're making reads. We're kind of figuring out, and again, we're challenging all those skills that we already worked on. Oh yeah. Another great drill we can use to work on this. Now we're going to tie in finishing as well as floaters. Another mistake people make is they only do floater drills, where in a game you have to decide, am I going to take a floater, jump shot, layup, right? You have to be able to make that decision. So we're going to work on that. Henry, let's say you're on defense. I'm off the dribble, you pick a cone. If you pick that one, I have to go around. This way I can go to the rim or I can get into a floater. So I'm realistically reading, if you touch that cone and you drop, then I have the space for the floater. First, if you close that space, okay, now I'm going to the rim. So we're working on that read, making sure we're using the right shot at the right time, and then we're also working on our footwork. Again, if you're closing that space, maybe I gotta go quick with the left, maybe I gotta go right, left. Again, it all depends on the situation. So we're just making sure, doing the right thing at the right time. So that is the entire process that I would take players through, really the entire recipe to really build your flow to the most efficient way possible. As you guys can see, it's a little bit of on-air stuff, then going to some live stuff. Again, the main theme is constantly challenging yourself, constantly playing against defense. Now, if you guys like to work out on your own, you guys can go and check out our transformation course. You can go and check out our finishing course where we have all of this laid out for you so you guys don't have to think about it, or you guys can come train with me in person, or you guys can train with me one-on-one virtually, completely up to you guys. So if you guys are interested in any of that, link below, hit me on Instagram. You know the deal. See you guys soon. Peace.